Hi, welcome to Fearless Fempreneurs. So today it is an interesting time for us right now because this is only our second episode on Facebook Live. And
Mm.
what better way to begin than for us to actually talk about the idea and the concept of personal financial planning. Now, business owners who are listening in, thank you so much for joining us. So throughout this whole session, please feel free to drop questions down in the comments and let us know what are your comments or your feedback and your thoughts throughout this whole process. It's definitely going to be an exciting evening here with Xian, and I would like to first of all thank Xian for making the time to join us at Fearless Fempreneurs.
Thank you, Huda. I'm very grateful for your invite and also the opportunity to really share very personally what it means to do personal financial planning.
Yeah. Today we have with us Xian from Unicorn Financial Solutions, and this company is based in Singapore. So Xian here is in the business of investment risk management, and she's here today to shed some light on why business owners just like you should do personal financial planning. So Xian, share with us about what you do and maybe a little bit about your journey as with financial planning.
My pleasure, Huda. So I'm Xian, and I'm in the business of investment risk management planning. So personally, I have been a client of Unicorn for 5 years. That was me at 25, and I had $25,000 of assets at that time, including CPF. So, due to the partnership and also a deep relationship with Unicorn, with a consultant that I truly like and care for, the guidance that she has given me, the financial wisdom that she has also shared with me, and also my part in making decisions has helped me to amass up to 200,000 worth of assets in 5 years.
Wow.
So, yeah, so two trigger events in my life that actually made me dedicate my entire energy in running this business, in the business of investment risk management. So, what were the two trigger events? First, one of my parents, I wouldn't name who, one of my parents went into retirement at 63. So, um, at that moment, I just calculated, very simply, if my parent actually lived till for another 30 years, just divide by 30 years and into 12 months on a monthly period. I realized that it's not enough to at least sustain, you know. So that was one thing that woke me up to understand that actually just saving is not enough. That was a realization on my side. The second trigger event that happened was when the other parent was diagnosed with breast cancer. So there were these two trigger events that actually got me to be more real with my finances and to understand how can I actually be more practical about this instead of just coming into financial planning. It's a very famous term, right? And then
Yeah.
just do a bit of planning here and there, and yet at the same time, just leave it. So it's not like this. So Unicorn has taught me that this journey requires a lot of commitment and a lot of guidance because there are blind spots all the time. And it's important for us to really be real about this. So, because of that, I was seeking for answers and really looking through beyond myself. And I realized that Unicorn is really the place for me to run this business, to be able to help my parents first, definitely. Myself has already started, right? Amassing up to $200,000. Then I want to help my parents. And in order to do so, then I decided to take in the business and I realized that I can help more and more people. So that's how my journey began.
I think it's a lovely story where, when I first met Sian and she shared with me this story, I was so moved because the concept of what Sian has just mentioned is, you want to retire with your loved ones. It's not just merely you want to retire or they need to retire. It's a matter of you need to retire with your loved ones, then spend the time with them as you both go through the retirement together. And I think that's really a lovely idea and it's a lovely concept. So definitely, I would say that this experience or this journey that you have shared with me moved me even. So that's the reason why I actually called Xian on to be part of Fearless Fempreneurs, because I feel every single one of you watching and listening in, you definitely would want to, take that time to spend with your family, right? So that's definitely lovely. So share with us then, like, why do you feel it is super important for business owners to do personal financial planning? And maybe you can also explain a little bit, like, what's the difference between personal financial planning and business financial planning?
Okay. All right. Well, I will first tackle your first question, yeah? Then we will get on to the difference, okay? The difference will be later. So I have three questions for you and also the friends out there.
Mm-hmm.
First question. These three questions actually came to me by one of the two mentors from Unicorn, and he is a very really dedicated managing partner of Unicorn and a really brilliant coach. Yeah, that I really truly admire. So these are the questions that he posted to me, and I felt that this was meaningful for our friendpreneurs here. So first
Mm-hmm.
question, how long do you think you will live till? Do I need to give
Very,
time for friends to answer?
yeah. So far we've got four people viewing in. So if you want to join in with this, you can feel free to drop your responses. Yeah, but nonetheless, my estimation is, if you were to look at the life expectancy in Singapore, probably about 80. Yeah.
80. Okay. So from the age that you are in, then you will be living until 80, right? For instance.
Mhm. Yeah.
So the second questions would be how many more crises or drastic changes do you think you will face?
That's true. I mean, that's a very good question. That definitely now at the age where you are just building your life, with your other half. There's definitely going to be a lot of changes, like house, okay, marriage, house, and you might have kids in the future. So all those are like personal life choices and changes that might occur. So I guess that is what you're trying to mention. Is that right?
Yep. So, I mean, in terms of that, I mean, the drastic changes, I would say these are your life moments, are pivoting moments in your life, but more like at this moment in time, in terms of COVID-19, that's one crisis, right?
Mhm.
So let
Definitely.
me share the question again. So, how many more crises do you think you will face? Crisis like COVID-19.
Wow, it's a very good question. I have no idea actually. We would never know. We can only prepare for the worst, but we would never know the number of times the crisis is gonna happen.
Yeah, because for me, for example, I'm 32, and then I believe I can live to 92 because it's easy calculation, 60 years, right? So because of that, I know that I have 60 more years. And the second question comes, right, how many more crises will I face? So in the economic cycle, we have witnessed at least about a minimum of 10 years, or it could be faster now. The last
Hmm.
crisis took 12 years to happen. Yeah, because of different reasons. Like one of the reasons is quantitative easing, printing of money. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, but average it will be about 10 years. And we have like exacerbated like disruption from technology. So I also have a sensing that it could be faster. But assuming that it's 10 years, every 10 years, that means I'll face it six times. So these are the six changes or drastic changes that I might be facing, something like COVID-19. So with that number in mind, then I have the third question for all of us. Do you want to go through them by chance or by plan?
No, of course by plan lah. Yeah.
Why would you say so, Huda? Can I hear from you?
I mean, like, if you go by chance, then like there's a lot of things that is not within your control, so you would not be able to foresee or have contingencies in place. But if you plan it out, you would know for certain that, just like the saying, you save for a rainy day, or you squirrel away some funds to make sure that if there's a difficult time, you would definitely have some food left. That kind of mindset. So contingencies in place definitely would help. Yeah, this is my perspective of things. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, Huda. Well, that's exactly how it is. I was feeling when it comes to financial planning, especially personal financial planning. Whatever I do in my life, whether I'm working for an MNC SME or I'm running my own business, I do want to go through my life by plan because I have a personal life motto here. If your life is worth living for, then it's worth planning for life. That's my personal life motto. Yeah, because it's really worth it. I love my life and I believe you love yours as well. And there's a reason all of us are having a business because you're following your passion. Definitely, it's a vision that you're going for. There's a purpose or calling that you're going towards. So something is precious to you. That's why you took the leap of faith. Because in Singapore, like it or not, we really have this culture that getting a good job is considered successful. I say this because one of my business leaders in Unicorn, he comes from Indonesia. And Indonesia is the reverse. That owning a business will actually help them is their definition of success. Whereas getting an employed job or salary work in Indonesia is considered not as successful. So their mindset is reversed. So in that sense, I feel that okay, at least I understand Singapore has this culture, which is why I feel that it's really important to do your personal financial planning because I really feel that my life is worth living for. Okay. So the second question you mentioned, right? What is the difference?
Yeah.
Because many a times, I believe business owners, especially when we are starting out, we actually would say fall into this trap of combining them, and that's the danger because that's when the next story comes where you ask me about the story of an aeroplane. But I can
Yeah.
share a little bit more first. Yeah, because you won't be able to take care of yourself. I believe in living my life or for others. Really taking care of myself first in order to take care of others. It's impossible to tell everyone that I really want to take care of them when I can't even take care of myself because I cannot give what I don't have. So that's the reality of it. Like I like to feel more real about what I do to be practical because that is where really the essence comes out.
Mm, lovely. So now, please tell us what's this intriguing story of the aeroplane? We need to know.
The aeroplane, okay. Maybe I have a conversation with you, Huda.
Yeah.
Um, so in the commercial aeroplane where it really ferries passengers, for travels, going to Europe, nice trips. How many engines do you think that aeroplane has?
Two, I guess.
Two? Okay, okay. It's
No idea,
actually
actually.
thanks. It's actually four engines. And actually and do you know why?
No.
Because it's about getting from a place A to B, right? From point A to point B. So in order to get there, when you take off, uh, let's say it's a car lah, okay? When you drive from A to B and your car breaks down, so what can you do when you still want to go to B?
Get help.
Call a technician or call for cab, right?
Yeah.
How about in the air when you're flying the plane and then something cocks up in your engine? What can you do?
Fly faster.
Fly
I don't
faster,
know.
it's already defaulty.
I don't know.
Well, that's why. I mean, for safety precaution, you have to get from A to B, right? You're already in the air. So that's where the multiple engines come in. Because at the end of the day, if something is faulty in the engine, you can't be calling for help. You're already in the air, so you have to take over, have the second engine or the third engine taking over. So this is what I'm talking about. The extra engines that you have to build for yourself. As business owners, we are very passionate and We are fortunate to be able to take the leap of faith, right? And also build this business. And I'm also very honest with you that the highest return on your investments is definitely from your business due to the fact that you are the one who's actually building it. But just like the aeroplane, if something were to happen, where are you going to call for help? Something were to happen in terms of something like COVID-19 that happens to be affecting your business and more so in a negative impact. So this is why personal financial planning is important. Because in Unicorn, if for the shareholders of Unicorn, so the business itself, of course, we are taking care of our clients and doing financial planning for them, investment risk management. So the profits of Unicorn, one third of it goes to the business itself, goes back to the business. Then one third of it goes to the dividends for the shareholders. And the other one third is actually to be invested in other companies and other investments to build that second, third, fourth engine. Because we truly believe having an investor mindset, it is really to take care of ourselves and not just to focus on just one business itself. So even for us as planners, we're helping our clients to build their wealth, really accumulate and grow their wealth, and we're also responsible for our own business. So this is what I can share with you in the story of aeroplane in a simple understanding of why you need to do your own personal financial planning.
I think
Because
that's a
this
really
can create. Mm,
yeah, it's definitely a very inspiring story because what you have mentioned gives us an analogy or a picture behind why it's important for us to have multiple revenue streams or multiple income streams so that there is definitely like an engine to keep our life going and to ensure that we've got retirement in at the back of our mind and that all that is taken care of.
mm.
Lovely. So let's move on to the next bit, which I think is really important. Since we're all business owners, we're always talking about numbers, right? So cash flow management and budgeting, what is it about this that can help us in the way that we would manage our life?
Okay, so if you look into your own personal financial planning, right? This is actually part of it. Cash flow management and budgeting. So taking care, so moving to yourself, taking care of yourself. Then in this model, I would say cash flow management and budgeting, there are three aspects to take care of. And and Huda has mentioned very clearly about one of the aspects. So the first aspect is definitely contingency, right? To really build a contingency that is just enough for you, tailor-made to yourself. So as you're running your business, you would try to understand or at least make a very clear picture of how you would like to take care of yourself in times like COVID-19 at this point. So how many months of contingency funds, for instance? And and in that sense, it's like um, saving for rainy days. Have you heard of that term, Huda?
Yes, always.
So what does that actually mean, that's important for us to find out because it means temporary loss of income. Yeah. So if you're going out for grocery shopping and you realize that the sky is dark, right? And then you have already brought your wallet, your keys, now your mask, and also your phone. What do you think you will bring also with you?
Mm, your savings, I guess. No, if you get to go out, I don't know what we're trying to say. I'm trying to
No,
understand this analogy.
now you're going for grocery shopping, my dear.
Yeah, okay, grocery
So you,
shopping again.
yeah, so you need to go to NTUC to get something, but the sky is
Uh-huh.
dark. It's gonna rain, right?
Oh, okay. So you
Yeah,
need
and
an
you brought
umbrella.
your okay. So would you
Uh,
bring an umbrella that is of 5 meters of diameter?
5 meters? No,
Do you mind to share why, Huda?
it's too big to handle.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about, right? So, you wouldn't bring it because, yeah, too big to handle, and it's just for rainy days. So it's the same thing. One of the purpose of financial planning is to organize our finances so that our money can actually work for us effectively and efficiently. So taking care that our contingency funds are just big enough umbrella to take care of the situation. So that is the
Mhm.
first aspect. So temporary loss of income contingency. The second aspect that most of us unfortunately not very concerned about at times, which is risk transference. So Huda, if there's a huge thunderstorm instead of a rain, would you consider to actually bring this 5 meter umbrella? The thunderstorm is going to be left, right, center.
Mm. I don't know. I might question my decision to go out altogether.
Ah, okay, got it. So why so?
I mean, it might not be safe. Yeah.
Okay. So that's how it is, right? Thunderstorm likens to events that has huge impact to our financial life. Like permanent loss of income. It just means there's very little chance or no chance of resuming the income back to where it was. So for us, it's like in the business, right? Yeah, if something were to happen to us, what do you think are some of the thunderstorm events or situations that might cause a permanent loss of income?
Mm. Maybe I don't know. I guess if you're in the manufacturing line, permanent loss of income could be when your factory burned down. That could mean that there's a permanent loss, and you have to rethink whether you want to continue and start over, or you're just going to you know discontinue your business altogether.
Okay. But that seems a little bit still like temporary, right? Because you're gonna find solutions, and then at the end of the day, you're still able
Mm-hmm.
to look for a job, at the end of the day, or look for an income.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you again, if you can consider, what would really, really cause a permanent loss of income to you, where you're unable to work for the next 20 to 30 years, or even for a lifetime?
I guess if you are not able to move, you're not able to work, or if you die altogether. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is it. When you're unable to move, right? It could be due to an accident, or it could be an illness. It could be somebody who just decided, yeah, there is something happening to this person, just like how one of my parents was diagnosed with cancer. So this could be a huge risk that we're talking about. So using the umbrella during a thunderstorm is actually very similar to using contingency funds to take care of events that cause permanent loss of income. Yeah, I've been through this myself in my family, and definitely contingency funds is not it's not the only thing that we can do lah. So if the umbrella cannot prevent us from being drenched in a thunderstorm, Huda,
Mhm.
then what do you think can prevent
Mm,
us from being drenched?
uh, I don't know, like a roof over our head, I
Huh.
guess.
Thanks for sharing, Huda. So you can liken it to a strong infrastructure, right? Like
Yeah.
a house, roof over your head. I would consider it to be house, yeah?
Uh-huh.
So it's like this as well as the big infrastructure that we're talking about. So likewise, financially, right, you will also want a financially stronger backing to take care of us during events like permanent loss of income. And that's where this risk transference is important. And
Mhm.
Huda, have you thought of some of the ways that you can prepare for a permanent loss of income?
Mm, by making sure that there's contingencies in place, like financially, to safeguard at least the loved ones, at least our family members. And then, like, if there is, you've got to also plan, I guess, your business contingency plan in the event that you are incapacitated. Who's the next person in line that's going to take over the company and things like that. That's my
Mm,
perspective. Yeah.
that's good. Do you believe, how much of contingency funds do you think you will need for a permanent loss of income for 20, 30 years, or even a lifetime? Have you thought of how much it would take?
No, I've not thought about it. Yeah.
So it's one question for our friends here, also the audience to consider. And what would be some of the ways to prepare for it? If I may pose this question to you again, Huda, what do you think would be some of the ways that people can prepare for this permanent loss of income?
You have a safety net, first of all. Yeah. So I guess in a way it's to make sure that if there's options available out there for you to have those safety net, try to take it, try to have it. Yeah, and of course have lots of savings. And that's like one way for you to safeguard and make sure that there's no way that you are going to get yourself affected, or the loved ones affected if you have all these measures put in place.
Okay.
Mm,
Well, maybe I can share a little bit deeper. Thanks for sharing about that, Huda. So the
mm,
safety net we're talking about is one of the ways, I mean, how we're gonna get all these funds, right? Because contingency funds is like the umbrella. It will not shelter you from the storm, but the house will. So the bigger infrastructure. So this is what we have to prepare for, right? So there are different ways. Some of my clients have mentioned, okay, maybe I can borrow from family and friends when something like that happens. But that's if you know how much is it that you actually need. So the other way that is more efficient, with most of my clients would agree also, would be insurance. So that is the one that is commonly helping us because it's really like using kacang putih amount every month to take care of yourself. And if something were to really happen that caused a permanent loss of income, there is a payout that is enough to sustain your living expenses first. That is really the basic. Yeah, and how much is that? We're gonna go in deeper because it's the same thing. You don't do too much to really take care of yourself. You don't buy too much insurance because it's just gonna hinder the rest of your objectives, financial objectives. But at the same time, you don't do too little because it will cause financial stress to your family if it happens. Yeah.
definitely.
So the last one, since I can see that we are running out of time, the last one is actually after these two parts are taken care of, contingency and risk transference, then we can talk about really taking care of ourselves in terms of building the second engine and third engine, which is the save and invest portion, to have your goals met in your own personal finances. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
won't go so deep onto that.
So what are some of your okay, so you've already talked a little bit about why it's so important for us to manage our personal finances. So maybe if you could give us just one tip of all the things that you've talked about today, what would be your greatest tip for all the fempreneurs that are watching?
Okay. So to my friendpreneur friends, most importantly, of course, these are really good concepts for you to start, right? These are really the tools that you can be using. But I can share with you through my experience. It's at the end of the day, it's really about you, your inner world, and how an advisor like me can understand you to guide you along the way if you are seeking for advice. Because I mean, there are lots of there's a concept over there, but there are lots of questions inside, especially it will be specific towards you, and it's all tailor made. So in that sense, I'm reaching out to you guys because you could go for a personalized financial independence model that is really something for you to hold on to and help yourself to really understand deeper how you can start with your cash flow management and budgeting. So the financial independence model will help you understand how you are actually structuring um, your own finances, your own personal finances to help you achieve some of your financial objectives.
So that's a good tip. And for those of you who are listening in, I believe that if you are looking for something meaningful in your life, trying to plan your personal finances because of the people that you care about in your life, I would highly recommend for you to actually speak to Xian. She's very passionate about this. As you can hear from her stories, it's because she has gone through it personally. So for our listeners, how can our listeners or our viewers get in touch with you, Xian?
Okay, so I have a page, a Facebook page, Finet SG. Then that is I have a weekly webinar that helps our friends and my clients and loved ones to understand what is the situation today in terms of COVID-19 and how we can embrace the entire financial situation better. That is pure financial education, I would say. But to really reach out to me to have your own tailor-made financial independence model, you can give me a personal message. I have left my number on the Facebook page. You can also personally message me either from Facebook or from WhatsApp to reach out to me so that you can understand deeper about what it means to have financial independence because it means different things to different people.
Yeah. So I've actually left the link for you to get connected with Xian right here in this video. So right after this, when the replay is available, you can just go ahead and click on the link. But if you're here watching right now, you can't wait to reach out to Xian. There is the link below right over here is displaying in the sticker tape that's appearing. So if you want to reach out to Xian, that's where you go. And yeah, so Xian, one of the things that you mentioned just now was actually goals. You have to set clear financial goals. And just like that, I also want to invite the women entrepreneurs who are listening in, my fempreneurs who are fearless, to also begin with goal setting. So we have a free 5-day goal setting challenge for you, and you can just join in by going to the link, the same link that we have right below. And right after this, when you see the watch the replay, you can click on the button as well. So that's where you're going to get yourself aligned with the goals. You have to have the basic foundation of clear goals in both your business and your personal life in order for you to reach to the vision or the dreams that you have for your own life in general. So with that, thank you so much, Sin, for being here. I really appreciate your time, and I believe that the viewers
Thank
here
you.
who are watching and who are here would also benefit from everything that you have shared with us today. Thank you so much, Sen, for being on the show.
Thank you very much, Huda. Very, very grateful for this time together with you and Friendpreneurs.
Lovely. All right. So, for every one of you, keep learning and keep believing in yourself because the world needs an inspiration just like you. And I'll see you in the next episode of Fempreneur Secrets and Fearless Fempreneurs. Take care. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.